this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute crop top. So the way that you start this crop top is with, you can use any kind of granny square you like. In this one, I used my daisy skull granny square. And let me show you the back. How cute is this? So I'm going to start with my daisy skull granny square, or actually, you know what? We can use the death moth granny square too. Both of these tutorials are available on my Patreon. If you go look at my Patreon, you can find the death moth tutorial. You can find the daisy skull tutorial and how to turn that into a square. And that's how we're going to be starting this. So I would go to those and then come back to this video. So again, you can use any granny square you like. But once you have your granny square finished, we're just gonna make that square bigger. So I'm gonna show you with my daisy skull granny square, the way that I would continue going to make this top. So I'm using a 5mm hook. I have a really loose tension, so you might want to go up a hook size if you have a bigger tension. This is also a size medium 4 weighted yarn. This is acrylic. This is cotton. I have cotton here. In this one I have cotton and bamboo and acrylic. I just use all the yarns. I don't care. But in this crop top, which I think would fit like a medium or 4, I actually used a 3.75mm hook on this top. And then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rows of granny square clusters to make this front panel. And then once I get to that point, I'll show you how to continue on to make the rest of the top. But if you want this top bigger or smaller, you can just add more rows, add less rows, or changing the hook size will also change the size of the square. Like I said, this fits me well. I wear like a medium large. I like it to have a little bit of a fitted cropped look. But there's a lot of different ways that you can make this to have a different fit and different size. So again, 5mm hook, 4 medium weighted yarn, and I'm just gonna continue to make this square bigger. So I'm gonna start in the corner here. I'm gonna do a standing double crochet. I'm gonna do 2 more double crochets into this corner. I'm going to chain 2 and do 3 more double crochets, and we're going to keep doing that in each corner to continue making the square bigger. So we can tie in the ends later. So now I'm going to go into the space in between the clusters, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets. And continue going, and we're just doing granny square clusters, and we're just making this a bigger granny square. So 3 double crochets in between the 3 double crochets from the previous round, and then when we get to the corner, we're doing 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And we're just going to continue doing that around. And I like to do 2 rounds of the same color and then switch colors, because I like that look. I think it looks really cute. I like to use a lot of colors in my crochet, but then I will tie it together with like a color, the same color on the collar and the sleeves and bottom ribbing. But yeah, feel free to go buck wild with your colors. Do whatever colors make you happy. I like to use a lot of really bright colors, but I like to mix it with some muted earth tony colors. I like to use like a bunch of earth tone and then like use like a bright color to make it pop. I like to switch up color palettes, and yeah, I really like to play with color. It's one of my favorite things about crocheting. But use your own creativity and your own judgment in what you'd like to do. If you like a solid color, that's something you can do too. It's not, everybody has their own style and what they like. So, like I said, though, I like to do 2 rows of the same color and then switch colors. And I'm just going to keep going with this until I reach probably around 12 rows. Maybe I'll do 13, maybe I'll do 11. I don't know. I'm going to figure that out when I get there and see what size I want it to be. But I want to show you, so this is with my daisies skull, and this is just doing regular granny square clusters. Now, with my death moth square, I don't have it in clusters. So, if I want to do it in clusters, I have to make them myself at this point. So I'm going to start with a standing double crochet. I'm going to go into the corner and I'm going to do a standing double crochet. That means I wrap the yarn around my hook twice, put it into the corner, and I pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops, and that's my standing double. And then sometimes I like to secure the tail, I'll wrap it around the hook and take it along for the next double crochet. And sometimes I'll just keep going, or sometimes I'll tie in the tail later. Okay, so we have 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets to make that corner. And now I'm going to skip 2 stitches and do 3 double crochets. Skip 2 stitches, do 3 double crochets. Skip 2 stitches, do 3 double crochets, and we're just going to keep going around like this until we get to the next corner. Okay, so it's not even, so I'm just gonna skip 1 crochet here instead of 2, and then I can skip 2 and go into the corner and do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Then I'm going to skip 2 and do 3 double crochets. Now, because this is a square, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I want to make sure that I have 8 granny square clusters on each side so that I can keep this an even square. So there's 1, 2, skip 2, there's 3. Skip 2, there's 4. Skip 2, there's 5. Skip 2, there's 6. Skip, like I said, there's not enough here, but we could skip 1, there's 7. And in the corner, now we have 8 clusters. And chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. Now we can keep going around like this, and that will make our granny square clusters, and then we just do the same thing like we were doing here, going in between the granny square clusters to build this out to the size that we want our front panel to be. Now, the other thing you can do if you don't want granny square clusters, maybe you want a tighter stitch and you don't want there to be like these holes. You know, this is stitched a little bit tighter. We can just do double crochets across. So we can still do the corners the same. So we do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the corner, but now we could just go right across, just doing double crochets into every stitch. Okay, and then we can just have, instead of granny square clusters, just double crochets, and that's also gonna keep making the square bigger. Really here you can do, as long as you keep the stitching even, whatever kind of stitches you want. If you just want to do single crochets around, that's going to take a lot longer, but you could do single crochets and do a lot of color changes. You could do half double crochets, or if you wanted to do, like, have a different effect, if you wanted to go into the back, go around the back post and do double crochets, you could do that, and that would give it a little pop out. So it has like that little kind of like a braided effect if you go around the back post. So you would come in this side, go around the post, and then do a double crochet. So you could do that. So there's all kinds of different ways that you could build out your granny square. I just wanted to show you a couple of examples, but I'm going to continue on just doing the granny square clusters, because I think a classic granny square cluster is pretty stinking cute. And once I build this out to the size that I would like, I'll come back in part 2 and show you how to continue. It's not 2 separate panels. I'm going to show you how I finish the front panel and then I crochet the sleeves and the back. I'll come back and show you how I continue on in part 2. But yeah, come back and join me when you have the size front panel that you would like. And I'll see you in part 2.